Hello, welcome to your December highlights reading. We're going to do just a short astrology, kind of just some highlights that I want to talk about today to really inspire us to work with these energies at the end of the year. There's a lot happening, so I'm not going to go over everything, but we're going to just look at the stuff that I feel like jumped out at me. And, as the month moves forward, if other things pop out, I will definitely be back on to let you know. And I will also be doing tarot with this astrology forecast. So, in case you don't know me, I'm Chris Seraphin, and I'm a mythologist. I am a business mentor. I think business mentor fits more than coach for me, but I guess I'm kind of coachy too in the spiritual realm for um, creative and entrepreneurial leaders. And yeah, I absolutely love what I do. And I'm working on a bunch of books right now. I'm downloading like crazy from an Egyptian deity that has basically been working with me for the past, I feel like it's been maybe a month now. I think it's probably been longer, but I was really more conscious of it. So I'm going to be doing some channeling and we'll be sharing that experience with you as well. So you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram and here on YouTube. Primarily, those are the three areas where I post all that content, okay? So this first week of December, the energy is actually the most smooth than probably the rest of the month. That is because we have this Grand Water Trine that started in November and is kind of like floating over here into the first week of December. So we have basically Saturn, Neptune in Pisces, and Jupiter in Cancer. That's like the big one. And I think we still have planets in Scorpio. So it's just creating, we think of a Grand Water Trine as very just super flow, super blessed energy. So that has been happening, and I've been feeling that for November into this month. I mean, November had a lot of other kind of crazy shit because of the Mercury retrograde. I don't know about you guys, but the Mercury retrograde was a little bit of a wild ride this time. Um, but now here I'm filming this on December 2nd. We are now in Mercury is forward motion. Um, I think we're in the shadow a bit, probably maybe another like week or so. So, the other things to talk about this month are the fact that both Venus and Mars um, are very close to the sun, so they're considered invisible. One of my teachers, Lori Lothian, she has an astrology channel. She's great if you want to check her out. Um, she talked about how when planets are really close to the sun and they're not visible, it dilutes their power. So I think that's interesting. So I think both of those planets, Venus and Mars, go into kind of their like invisibility cloaking at some point in December, and then they come back to full potency at probably like mid-January, maybe even later in January. I don't remember her exact dates that she gave, but I thought that was interesting. Also, in 2025, we didn't have any Venus retrogrades. In 2026, we do. So that's like a whole separate video, whole separate topic, and we're going to talk about the Venus retrograde. I've done classes and a lot of material on Venus retrograde before, so I will pull that out and then we'll do those readings based on like the current astrology, not what it was, whatever, when I did those classes, probably 2023. Um, Okay, so the other thing to talk about besides this beautiful trine energy that I think lasts like this whole first week of December, and then it's kind of dissolves away, like with the sea foam. The tide goes out. Um, we have a square energy between the mutable signs. So we have a square between um, Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. And yeah, we have the Sun, Mars, Mercury, Venus in Sag. So that's a lot of planets in Sag. So we're getting into this fire part of the year where, November was all water. It was definitely a month of water. So, which fits because it's Scorpio. But now we are in the sign of Sagittarius. It's the Sagittarius time. So it's big dreams, big ideas, boldness, aiming, aiming that bow and arrow for what we want. It's a lot of optimism, right? Because Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So what I kind of like, even though we've got this square between Pisces and, um, I'm sorry, am I reading that right? Yeah, I am reading that right. Sorry. There's also oppositions, of course, between all these planets in Sagittarius and then Gemini, right? With that full moon, which is in a couple of days from now. So there's that opposition. So we've got oppositions, which oppositions and squares are generally more conflict-based energy. They're they're basically asking us to sometimes to sacrifice something for the better of something else. Um, There's definitely an alchemy, especially with the square, because we've got fire, Sagittarius, and water, Pisces. Um, and I always think of like that fire and water blend, like the fire transmutes and purifies, and water also cleanses and dissolves. So they both kind of do a similar job to us, to our souls, to our consciousness, but they do it in different ways. Obviously, so the fire energy here and the water blending, it's basically about adaptability, flexibility, like things are just in a state of flux. So squares, they're definitely not like a trine or even a sextile energy where things kind of blend together and there's a flow. These are hard angles, things bumping into each other. And however, really amazing, what would I say? What's the right word? Mercury must still be in retrograde because I can't think straight. We have to blame it on Mercury, right? It's like things bumping into each other that don't really match up, or things that are opposite each other. But when these opposites and bumps come together, it is like it creates something new, something novel. So you could be going along your merry way, and then boom, you hit a road bump. Boom, you hit like a dead end street. And then you realize, well, I have to now fly above this giant uh, obstacle in a helicopter. You know what I mean? So just know that December, pretty much the whole month, is dominated by these squares. Um, Also, the North Node is in Pisces. What else do we have going on? Yeah, and then so that Gemini full moon is also square to Saturn, Neptune, and Pisces. So we're trying to make our dreams come true, and we've made progress, but again, it's like we feel like we're almost there, but then we bump into something. And maybe it's because we need to recalibrate. Most likely recalibrate ourselves, recalibrate our own energy, right? That's usually how it works. Um, And so that's maybe something that you want to meditate on. Like what do I need to recalibrate within myself to receive the clients, the wealth, the new home, the new love, whatever it is that you desire. Um, and Venus is so connected to the one who delivers our desires, and she's not in her most potent energetic form because she's invisible. So I think it's interesting that we're out of this kind of retrograde energy. And yeah, we had so many planets in retrograde in November, right? I think there are five or six. Saturn is now going direct. Mercury is now direct. Um, so that's good. That's, so we're definitely going to feel like we can move forward, but maybe it's a few inches, maybe not all the way where we want to be. So have some patience with yourself, with other people, and really work on and reflect on where do I need to recalibrate my energy? Because when you recalibrate and, do some identity work, which we're going to talk about in another video, like how to work with the planets and our identity and what that means for our evolution, for our, again, this alchemical idea of purifying ourselves with the fire, with the water, right? Um, the other thing um, that I love to think about is that Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, but it's also the ancient ruler of Pisces. Um, so I feel like even, with these squares, there's still this big sense of hope, this big sense of optimism. And I feel like there's nothing wrong with that, but with these squares, maybe it's also telling us these big optimistic ideas and hopes and dreams are beautiful, but how can you be more grounded and make things more about reality, right? And I'm not saying the reality that you don't want, but I'm like, you know, you want to be like way, way, way up here, but in reality, in 1 month, maybe you're only going to get to here. And um, so working with the energies to be more grounded, actually, so you can receive more and be grateful for what comes in. I think we need to be more grounded in reality and coming back down to earth. So if you want to solidify your dreams, which is, Saturn and Neptune and Pisces is all about making the dream real, bringing to life your imagination, your fantasies, whatever you've got in your heart and mind that you really like have been dreaming about. They, between now and February 20th, when they are at direct conjunction, how can you really ground that reality? How can you solidify it? And it's not just through optimistic thinking, like you're going to have to do something about it. You're going to have to take aligned action. All right. So I think that's what I'm going to say about those. The other big thing that I'm really kind of excited about to just feel into is on December 19th, we have the new moon in Sagittarius conjunct the galactic center, which is at 28 degrees Sag. Um, this is all about power and destiny, right? Really, that I think that's the day if you want to do rituals, start a ritual, start some magic with that maybe one or two big actions that represent what dream you're making real, or the next step on making that dream real, right? And even if it's a small step, it doesn't matter, but like having that conscious intention of seeding on that day, I think is going to be super important. And I love it because 2026 is a 10 year for the collective, the radiant body. You could check out my video on the numerology of 2026. I think you'll find it very interesting and really rich. There's a lot of beautiful, sacred technology that's connected to the 10 energy bodies in tantric numerology and specifically. But if we look at December 19th, the day itself is 1 + 9. It's a 10 day. So I feel like whatever you're really starting to bring into form and into reality next year, you're going to get like a really like activated. There's an activation on December 19th at that new moon in Sag. So I think those are the big ones. I think that's what I want to talk about. So let's do some cards. So think, yeah, let's just pick 1 to 3 cards for the month of December for this particular just kind of collective astrology report. And what do we need to know about December? I feel like this card wants to come out. Beautiful. We got the star, Major Arcana number 17. You can't ask for a better energy for December. So the star is in this deck. I'm using the Unveiling the Golden Age by Izzy Ivy, a beautiful tarot deck that I feel like has more of an oracle sort of feel to it. And of course, her beautiful artwork with these with different sigils and sacred geometry. And there's a butterfly here. It says evolving light codes. So the traditional meaning of the star is, hope, optimism, healing, shining your light, which is the big um, theme for 2026. So definitely go back and watch that numerology video. I will put a link down below so you can start to prepare for the energy of 2026. And then I also teach you in that video how to calculate your personal year number. So then you have the 10 collective year, and you layer into that also your personal year number. Okay, so Evolving Light Codes, the star. It says, rediscover joy and purpose in your life. After disruption come renewal and hope. It's interesting because, yeah, this is the star is the card that comes after the tower. So if you've had some tower moments in 2025, I know I have. I had quite a few. Um, it's basically saying now it's time to just have a little light and joy and hope and relaxation into that energy, right? Which I think feels good for the end of the year. It's like, you know, um, pushing a boulder uphill at this point in the year is not something anybody wants to do. And I don't think that's what's going to be called for. What's called for is really seeing our inner light and seeing the light of other people. I mean, the star is very much connected to the goddess Kuan Yin, who's definitely been coming through for me a lot as well. Okay, so the welcome energy of this card is hope, renewed power, and a sense of rejoicing. Life may have dealt you some challenges, and there may have been rawness, yet that has connected you more deeply with your core, stripping you back to authenticity and connection with your inner spiritual essence. This optimistic card carries the message that you have all you need within you. It is time to rediscover joy and purpose in your life. Recent transformative experiences inspire you to create the highest version of yourself. Beautiful magic and grace surround you. A reminder that you can make your dreams come true and live with purpose and faith. It is as if you have passed through an initiation and many blessings await you in this peaceful, stable phase. When life throws us unexpected challenges, it can be easy to become disenchanted, cynical, and hardened by the experience. This card reminds you to check in with the higher lessons you are presented with now. Perhaps your experience is the perfect opportunity to highlight an area that was ready for you to evolve out of. Do not see this as a punishment, but rather as an initiation. As you pass through the eye of the needle, stand firm with faith and confidence that the universe is on your side, even if it takes time to see the bigger picture. Now more than ever, find ways to align your life with what feels important to you. If you need to take some time to nurture your body and nourish your energy, listen to yourself and do so. Beautiful. And a lot of times when I see this in a client's reading, I feel like the star is a really big sign that a wish is about to come true. So your wishes are so close to coming true. The miracle is about to happen. Don't give up. Keep moving forward. Even if you hit the wall, like we talked about with these squares, even if things feel mismatched or things don't quite iron out the way you had in mind for this month, just know that you're planting the seed, especially, yeah, December 19th is a big one. Um, the full moon that we're having in a couple of days is, I feel like more of it's a different kind of activation. It's more about, I feel like crossing boundaries, like really, or people may cross our boundaries and, we need to like just not be strong, but have stronger boundaries, like really hold that container for yourself. And yeah, so it should be interesting. We'll see what comes to light for that. But that's what I have for you for your overall for December. I will be definitely coming on with more readings, and I'm sending you lots of love. Okay, bye for now.